We are back on Golf Weekly with yet again another new face, Tom Warda. Tom, good to see you, my friend.
Nice to be here.
Welcome, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Tom, a.k.a. Lawyer Warda. Tom's been down to Hilton Head, actually as a Flint native resident, but comes to Hilton Head every year, actually, don't you?
Every year.
For quite some time.
It varies. This year is going to be the longest, and maybe I've overstayed my welcome already, but
well, you have as long as you keep taking guys' money.
Oh, come on.
We're going to get into you going from law to being an owner. Speaking of own, you and Edward Sires owned me and Tim Sutherland the other day on the golf course. They got into our pockets pretty good. Tom's got a putter that works quite well.
That's about all he can say about it. I mean,
I don't know. Well, we've got to move pretty quickly here, but you've got a really interesting story, and I want you to tell our viewers. We think of you as one of ours because you're down here a lot.
I appreciate that.
But you spent a lot of time in Flint, Michigan. Tell us about that and where you are today.
Yeah, Flint's a tough city. It's gone through some tough times, and they decided last year they were going to close all the golf courses.
And they were owned by the city.
They were owned by the city, the public golf courses. And my partner and I, Frank Prekedes, he's a CPA, also a good golfer, we just couldn't allow that to happen. So we put our money together and made a plan and really browbeat the city until they decided to turn it over to us because they were going to take the easy way out and just shut them all down.
Shut them all down?
Shut all 3 golf courses down forever.
Let them turn into fields.
That's it. And they were going to just, they called it, make it a park again.
Make it a park.
And I just couldn't bear to have that happen.
Those are pretty big parks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, you practice law for, you're a prosecuting attorney?
I started out as a prosecutor, and then I done defense work and really a wide range of areas of law. Most recently, I'm into mediation now.
Okay.
Which is, probably the best way to resolve something without getting all.
And now you're finding as a golf course owner, now that's taking up most of your time, is it not?
It really is.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like work.
It's a labor of love.
It really is. I mean, people kid me, boy, you never worked this hard as a lawyer.
Right.
And I said, well,
it wasn't as much fun.
No, I mean, it's, if I have to pick the range, I mean, they had never had a range before in Flint, Michigan. In the entire huge city.
Range.
No,
not even in Warwick Hills. Well, that's
country club.
That's Grand Blanc.
Well, my country club has a range, but for the general public, you'd have to drive outside the city to Davison or Grand Blanc or Flushing to go to a driving range.
Wow.
And I just found that to be just horrible. So I did something about it, and I put 2 driving ranges in. And
you had room at the golf courses where you were. You had room for range facilities. That's great. Good.
Mm-hmm. And it took a while for them to get their arms around it, but once they did, they were knocking on my door for lessons. And of course, I'm an amateur, so I can't take money for lessons. So the idea of free lessons really went well.
I'm sure. Well, yeah. Right.
So
the idea of free anything goes over well.
Absolutely. And you don't see that a lot in Hilton Head, as you know.
No, you don't.
You said you bought 2 full 18-hole golf courses and a par 3 course.
Yeah, the one Swartz Creek is a 27-hole track that's just beautiful. I mean, the creek runs all through it, and trees everywhere, big walnuts.
And you say these are good golf courses.
These are really
like anybody down here that loves golf would appreciate these tracks.
There's no question. I mean, they're not easy. They're fair. And the greens are good. You know as well as I do that, golf courses can be good and bad, but the greens really are.
Make it.
Sure.
And that was my only goal, as I said to my superintendents. You've got to have good.
You got to have good
here.
Surfaces.
Yeah,
that's the whole experience for most
people. Cheap price, good surface.
And speaking of cheap price, you're talking $20 a head
with a cart for 18 holes.
Come on.
Yeah.
No wonder your economy stinks.
Yeah. Right.
$20.
You can't afford $20 to play golf with a car.
Well, yeah, but the price is one thing. But Tom, you and I, I've known you now. I met you several years back. we play a lot of golf when you're down here. I think we're going to try to get out there tomorrow.
Hope so.
By the way, I still owe you some money from my last bet, so I'm going to try to win that back. But real quick before we go, I wanted you to tell our viewers what being an attorney in Flint for 20 years. There's another driving passion for you in doing this, and tell our viewers what that is.
You know, I was researching the First Tee, and I saw their core values and how they were using the integrity and honesty and telling the truth when no one's looking to help troubled children get into the game and make it kind of a life's goal, you know, make people better citizens through golf.
Yeah.
And I tried it this year with the juniors that came out. Of course, wouldn't charge anyone, free golf for kids.
Awesome.
And it's taken off.
And in a city where obviously the citizens don't have a great reputation for playing well with others, doing something like this is actually, as we mentioned before we came on air, almost preventative maintenance and teaching these kids the core values they need to succeed in life, as opposed to maybe taking a little different route that leads them down a road that's not very good.
Yeah. You know, when you get dealt lemons, you make lemonade.
Wow.
And so rather than wait till these kids get in trouble and represent them and try to get them out of the trouble, my thought is maybe we introduce them to golf, and the values in golf will keep them off the streets, you know? Play with your friends, learn the game, and learn respect and honor and all the things that golf teaches you.
Is there a better way to do it? And,
no, I don't think
and therein really lies the heart of this game, and I think that's truly what we try to emphasize.
City of Flint's lucky to have you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
And we're lucky to have you as one of ours.
Thanks,
I know you're a Michigander, but we like to think of you as our own.
That's good.
Tom, good to have you here, and thank you for sharing your story.
And I'll be back next year.
You better be.
And pay him the money you owe him when you lose.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's another story. That's another time. That's all the time we have this week. Thanks to all of our guests. For Chris Tremblay, Chris Hendricks, I'm Daniel Cort. We'll see you next week.